so good to see you. And yeah, I'm really happy to see you again tonight. Well, basically it's because I was away for a few days and I went to like a social gathering and just made me realise how difficult it is being a introvert sometimes. But how lucky I am to have you to talk to. Yeah. Well, it's like for a lot of my life growing up, I disliked being an introvert so much. I constantly thought there was something wrong with me. And I know you felt it too, and I have, because you're a bit of both. You're like introverted sometimes, and then other times you're extroverted, and I love that quality about you. I really do. But me, I'm like, in social situations, I just feel like you're supposed to. Personally, I think you're supposed to wait to talk, As in, you can ask questions and you can talk to people, but if the question wasn't directed at you, then you should be quiet. But it just means that, a lot of the time, I don't really get to say what I really want to say, because someone else is talking, and it makes me feel a bit rubbish sometimes. And I guess it did, this time, because I feel like I'm so much more confident than I used to be. And so to then go to these sort of social situations and not want to, big up my ego, let's say. Sometimes it can kind of leave me feeling like I'm doing something wrong. Well, that's why it's so amazing to talk to you, because you remind me of how much of an amazing quality it is to be introverted. And I'm not saying I need to be reminded of that all the time, because I already know it's awesome to be introverted as much as you do. But I guess you do need reminded of that every now and then, because society tells you that in order to get anywhere in life and in order to succeed and have friends and be popular, you ought to be an extrovert. You ought to be egotistical, and I'm not saying all extroverts are that. Most definitely not. Because you aren't. Somewhere. And it's hard. It's hard to take, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know why. It's when that happens in a social situation where I know that someone is just talking in order to show everyone how much they love themselves, it makes me cringe a little bit, I guess, because I feel like I've been there and I've done that like a long time ago. And so in order to see that happen even in the later stages of life, it's just a bit, it's hard not to judge that person, so I don't know. I think for me, I'm still kind of finding out who I am, because for the most part I know who I am when I'm alone. I think I've had a fair amount of time to spend with myself. Doesn't mean I fully know who I am, but I just want to reassure you that if you're ever in this type of situation where you feel a bit sort of overwhelmed by, extroverts, I want you to know that there's something amazing in being the only different person in that room. The one who's very calm, but also who is listening. Okay, you might not be calm. You might be experiencing anxiety. We know that. If you're me, then you will experience anxiety. But after a while, you'll probably be quite quiet if you're like me and you're an extrovert and you're an introvert. And people misjudge that for either being shy or not having a good time. They don't see it as a quality sometimes. I'll tell you something. I wouldn't want to be any other way, and I wouldn't want you to be any other way, because the conversations we can have penetrate through that ego mask that so many people wear in public, because that's all it is. You take any one of those people and you sit with them in the evening time, you'd be very surprised to see how different they are if they actually do let their ego wall down for a little bit. I think for me, and maybe I represent some introverted people, I don't know. I think we can see and perceive the feelings that these types of people have in those social situations. And it almost seems fake. I mean, not always. They may truly be enjoying themselves, but you know what it's like when you can just tell someone is just trying to be the life of the party even though they don't. They don't really know what else to do. I think when you compare an introvert and an extrovert on extreme scales, they do have a lot of similarities, but it's easy to be in a social situation and see so many things that you wish you had of the other person. Yeah. No. I just think that personally, me being an introvert is the best I can be of myself. I have tried to change myself in the past. Yeah, I have, and that's not a good feeling. Because I know I used to look up to extroverts, and I used to be like, God, I wish I was like that. Now I still look up to them in a way. There's certain qualities I think, yeah, that's cool. Well, then there's other sides to them that I don't think are cool, you know. So it's always about seeing both sides. So please promise me that you won't ever feel inadequate in those situations. Yeah, I know. I deal with it a lot. I deal with these social situations, and I become introspective every time, and I analyse exactly what I'm doing and what I'm thinking, and I forget to speak sometimes. But that's what makes us so mature. We think more than we say, and we know more than we think. Is that saying? I don't know. Yeah. So, I just wanted to tell you that being a quiet person is a perfectly amazing thing. I know you don't need to know that. I think you already know that. But still, it's worth mentioning because our society does like to showcase extroverts as being the perfect type of people that we should all want to be like. But yeah, I guess it taught me a lot. Just being back in that situation again brought up a lot of memories from when I used to feel like just despair. I don't know, I just used to, it's a strong word to use, but I used to hate thinking of myself as an introvert. I don't know why. It's a perfectly amazing quality. But I think it's in our nature. Maybe not yours, I don't know. You're maybe more extroverted. But it makes us special, I guess. I don't know what the percentage is like of the population being extrovert, introvert, or ambivert. And I know there's no clear distinction, but if I compare myself to another girl my age, one who's very gregarious and loud and very, very, very confident, I think I don't know how much similarities we share, really, on the face of it. But deep down at the core, everything's the same. But if I've learned anything from this experience up till now, it is that people will appreciate you if you just be yourself, no matter what you are. Shy, confident. Well, as long as you're balanced. You don't want to be too shy all the time, because it doesn't feel good, does it? You can't express yourself. On the other hand, you don't want to be so confident that you love yourself, because that's just unappealing, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not fully there yet in terms of being 100% comfortable with who I am, but so much closer now than I've ever been. So that's all you can hope for. And I've noticed that I just need to practice being less judgmental, because we're all just different, and as long as you're being true to yourself, there's no reason for anyone to stop you from being who you are. I don't know. Yeah, well, I love that about you. I really do. That's why this time with you now is so important to me. Because I'd like you to know how much I think you're awesome. Yep. Anyway, I guess it's getting kind of late, so I should be going to bed soon. think the only thing holding us back in situations like that where we judge ourselves really is ourselves. You know, as long as you feel comfortable in your skin, you will be comfortable. It's not the case that just because you're a certain way, extrovert or introvert, you're doing something wrong. You know? I mean, the reason I personally might not meet many introverts all the time is because usually introverts are at home. Usually extroverts are out in social situations. So that's why there's more of them. And that's why it feels a bit overwhelming to be the only person who's a little bit different, you know, in a room. But that just makes you more interested, you know. People come to you to find out about you. So, always remember